Okay, I'm back for another video. I'm really excited because I get to talk about why I create this business called Flawless Little Beings, because young children are so flawless. I don't care the behaviors. I don't care the diagnosis. I don't care of birth defects. I don't care about all that. What I see is a child is a child. And that child is flawless in my eyes. So I'm the type of person, you can't come to me and say children are bad. You can't come to me and say children are disrespectful. You can't come to me and tell me that about young children. And the reason why you can't tell me that, because I understand that young children are a product of their environment. Whether that environment is something that a teacher doesn't like or a teacher likes, it does not matter. What makes them flawless is where they come from. And so as a lover of young children, I always want those kids. I was like, why can I have the kids that's cussing everybody out? The kids that is, hitting and, fighting and all that, that happens, right? And I'm talking about for young children. I'm not talking about this. My Flawless Little Beings is all young children. But my experience that I have is with young threes and under. So I'm not even talking about the older threes and up. I'm not even discussing that. That's a whole different world. Now, I was so blessed to work in Head Start. And Head Start was sorry, I was looking at my text I sent. Anyway, Head Start was like a good place for me to start, because you know why? Head Start children is where I'm from. I understand children that come from environments that's not conducive to the norm. I know how they live and how they present themselves, because I was one of those children. So Head Start gave me like that really good, never forget where you came from. And I kid you not, the best experiences of my life was working in Head Start. The best. I have come across so many authentic babies and 1-year-olds I've never seen in adults. So it's kind of like it just warms me to see those children who are going to speak their truth, regardless if the adult like it or not. I am that teacher to where I want for my little ones to be who they are, to be themselves. Because you know why? When you encourage young children to be themselves, what happens is, as they get older as adults, they can become confident in who they are and what they stand for. So I give you an example. I had a child who was considered a child that's not the norm. Okay? And I don't even care about if the child has an ISFP or IEP. That doesn't move me not one bit. I know how to follow goals for my IEP or ISFP, yes. However, there's teaching in ISFPs and IEPs. So anyway, beautiful child came from a background to where it was not the best, but ended up being placed in a home to where it was better. And to see this little baby struggle with emotional withdrawals, mental withdrawals, just things coming from a hard environment. And I literally nurtured this child from a baby all the way up to she was 2. And when I look back on it, that nurturing was so needed. But I knew her cute little self at 1 was going to need the teaching. So I told the mom that I'm going to be switching from this role to the teaching role. from nurturer to teacher because littles have to know that their environment is different from school environment. If both of the environments are the same, both teachers are the parent and teacher are the same, do the same things, what is that child growing? So I believe in teaching. And don't get me wrong, you can teach infants too. I'm going to get to them later, but I'm going to talk to them cute little 1-year-olds. So teaching them in a different environment will have them looking at the world differently. So I had to switch, and the mom and I used to joke, and I said, now I'm teaching her now. You know, she get a lot of nurturing, comfort, and loving, and all that beautiful stuff from you and your family. For me, I become the teacher. And it's funny because my little, she didn't like me anymore. And the reason she didn't like me is because I was challenging her to grow. So you see, little children understand change fast than most adults. They can feel change immediately. And if you can recognize to bring forth teaching in young children, given what they need versus what they want. See, there was times where she always wanted me to hold her, and I knew I couldn't hold her because I know the world won't hold her all the time. So I had to teach her how to become, independent, teach her to make those scary, even to jump off like a cute little balance beam. She didn't want to do that at first, but I was like, there's nothing that you can't do. You can put your mind to. Come on, you can do this. Go ahead and jump. Go ahead and jump. And guess what? When she jumped, I'm trying not to cry right now thinking about it. But that was a changing moment for her. Just imagine if I would have did it for her. What has she learned? Nothing. But to be overly dependent on adults. So, we want children to be balanced. To be independent, right? So, the moment she did that for herself, something sparked inside of that little. I never forget the look in her eye. It wasn't a look of fear. It was a look of I can do this. And the 1-year-olds, they're so bold and so beautiful. They're just bold. I love 1-year-olds. 1-year-olds really going to show you life. They bold. And so after that, she just started jumping off that little bitch. Jumping. And that just lights my whole soul. Because I'm like, yeah, and I'm right there teaching. Be safe while you jumping. But I'm proud of you. Go, girl. Go. So I'm cheering her on like a teacher. Because the more confidence you add in young littles, life gets better. It just don't get no better. So change is always good. And young children will teach you about what change is if you will let them. If you can see it, if you can teach them, if you can guide them, you can encourage them. If you're a parent, as a parent, you have to step out of your own comfort zone. Maybe I should do a video about that tomorrow. Stepping out of the comfort zone. Let me write that down. But as a teacher, you want to be confident enough, emotionally mature enough to see a child that's trying to make a decision that's going to be beneficial for their developmental growth. Change is always good. Teach those babies. Don't be afraid to teach them. And I piggyback off what I was talking about infants. Infants can be taught too. Infants is the best. Infants is the best to teach because you can start as a baby just talking. Just be talking. I'll give you an example. If I'm changing diaper. Okay, Susie, when I was in childcare, I went by Gumry. Which is my last name. I go by Gumry. So that's how I would talk. So anyway, back to my example. Okay, Susie, Gumry's about to change your diaper. I know you're not going to like me changing your diaper right now because I get it. You don't like this changing table. You like to see everything that's going on. I get it. I'll be really quick. I'll be really fast as I'm doing this because it's going to help you out. And I'm talking like this as I'm changing. See, and people think that infants can't learn. Infants are, they soak up stuff so fast. And that baby just watching and looking the whole entire time. The reason she's watching and looking, because she's like, wow, I'm learning something. Change is happening. I'm growing in something. So even parents can do this as well. Parents can teach their child to. Change is always good. I can make a lot of videos about change. So anyway, to piggyback way off what I was saying, don't be afraid to teach. Don't be afraid of change. They may be fragile and flawless and beautiful. Flawless and little, but they can be taught. See you later.